Rank 1. The Talib. You are 12, maybe 14, maybe younger. Your father brought you here, or someone who said they were helping your family brought you here. Either way, you are here now. This is a madrassa, a religious school, somewhere in Pakistan, somewhere near the Afghan border. It doesn't matter exactly where. You will not be leaving for a while. You wake before sunrise. You recite. You eat, if there is food. You recite again. You sleep on a mat on a floor with 20 other boys. You do not ask where you are going. You do not ask what comes next. You learn very quickly that asking is not what students do here. What they teach you is not broad. There is one interpretation of Islam. It is the correct one. There is one way to live. It is this way. There is one enemy. You already know who it is. The Soviet Union came to Afghanistan and destroyed villages and killed children and poisoned the land. Then America came. It did its own version of the same thing. You are the response to that. You are the answer. That is what they tell you. And you are 14, and you are hungry. And there is no one here who tells you anything different, so you believe it. Rank 2. The Mujahed. At some point, someone hands you a gun. It is not new. It is older than you are. There is a crack in the stock. The sight is bent slightly to the left. You do not complain about this. You are given an assignment, a checkpoint, a patrol route, a village to watch. You go. Your day is long. You stand in heat that reaches 45 degrees Celsius. You stand in cold that drops below freezing at night. You eat when food arrives. Sometimes it doesn't. You sleep in shared rooms with men you may or may not trust. You are told an operation is happening tomorrow. No other details. You don't ask for details. Here is what no one told you about being a fighter. Most of it is not fighting. Most of it is waiting. Waiting at a checkpoint that no one respects. Waiting for an order that comes late or doesn't come. Waiting in a cold room while someone above you decides something you will never be told about. And when the fighting does come, it comes fast, and it is not like what you imagined. There is no glory in it. There is noise and confusion in the smell of things burning. There is the face of someone you know, and then there isn't. You keep moving. That is the only instruction that makes sense. You keep moving, and you don't stop to think about it, because the men who stop to think about it don't do well.
Rank 3. The Emir. You are a commander now. District level. A few dozen men answer to you. You are not sure exactly how this happened. You fought well. You survived when others didn't. You said the right things to the right people. You were loyal, visibly and consistently, to the man above you. And one day it was simply understood. You were in charge here. What this means in practice: you settle disputes. A man says his neighbor stole his wheat. You listen to both sides. You decide. Whatever you decide, one of them will resent you for it. You collect taxes, not formal ones, informal levies on commerce moving through your district, a cut of the harvest, a fee at the crossing. Everyone knows it is happening. No one calls it what it is. You manage your fighters. Some of them are reliable, some are not. One of them is stealing from the people you are supposed to be protecting. You handle it quietly. You do not want attention from above. Here is what being a commander actually feels like. It feels like being responsible for everything and in control of very little. The people in your district watch you. They are calculating whether you are predictable enough to live with. They are not loyal to you. They are loyal to stability. And right now, you are the closest thing to it. The moment you stop being stable, they will work around you, or report you, or simply wait for someone else to arrive. And above you, the shadow governor watches. You get assessed, not formally, not with paperwork, But someone is always watching whether your district is quiet, whether revenue is flowing, whether your men are disciplined or becoming a problem. You are not just a commander, you are being graded, constantly, by someone you have never met. Rank 4, the Shadow Governor. You govern a province. The official government also governs this province. Both of you know the other is there. Neither of you acknowledges it publicly. You run courts. People come to you because your courts give verdicts in days. The official courts take months, sometimes years. Sometimes they take a bribe and still take months. So they come to you. A man whose land was taken, a woman whose husband disappeared, a merchant whose goods were seized at a checkpoint by fighters who may or may not have been yours. You listen, you decide, you move on. This is not justice, this is function. But in a place where the alternative is nothing, function looks a lot like power. You also manage money, taxes from commanders below you, funds from the Shura above you. You pay fighters, you pay informants, you pay people to stay quiet. You file reports, not on paper, not electronically, in ways that leave no trace. You attend meetings in rooms with no windows. You give updates, you receive instructions. You go back to your desk. You are never in the news. Your name does not appear in American intelligence briefings. Journalists cannot find you. NATO forces have a list, you are probably on it, but you move before anyone acts on it. You have learned that visibility is a vulnerability. The moment someone important knows your name becomes a target. So you stay invisible. You do the work, you stay invisible. You stay alive.
Rank 5, the Military Commission. You do not fire a weapon anymore. You decide where weapons are fired, and when, and at what cost, and whether the cost is acceptable. You sit in rooms that don't officially exist. You discuss operations in cities you may not visit for years. You talk about fighters whose names you don't know, moving through terrain you are looking at on a map toward objectives that have been handed down from above. You refine the plan. You approve the plan. The plan goes down through channels you will never see operating. Somewhere, a checkpoint commander gets an order. He doesn't know it started with you. You don't know how it ended. Here is what most Americans don't understand about this level. These men are not fanatics fumbling in the dark. They are patient. They are organized. They plan in years, not weeks. While U.S. commanders rotated in and out of Afghanistan on 12-month deployments, the men at this table had been fighting the same war for 2 decades. They knew the terrain better than the people flying over it. They knew which village had grievances, which commander could be turned, which road flooded in March. That is not ideology. That is institutional knowledge. And it is one of the reasons they won. Rank 6, the Quetta Shura. For 20 years you ran an insurgency from a city called Quetta. Quetta is in Pakistan. The war was in Afghanistan. You were 2 hours away by car. This is where you ended up after years of surviving everything the lower ranks demanded. You watched men beside you get killed at checkpoints, exposed by informants, taken in night raids. You moved when you had to. You stayed quiet when silence kept you alive. You were loyal, loudly, visibly, correctly to the men above you. And now you are one of those men. The Shura makes decisions, military strategy, political positions, religious rulings on what is and isn't permissible. When American diplomats sat in Doha, Qatar, and negotiated what would eventually become the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, it was men from this council who sat across the table from them. Let that land for a moment. The men who began as teenage students in Pakistani refugee camps, who spent years at checkpoints and in cold rooms and in windowless meeting rooms,
Those men sat across a table from American diplomats and negotiated a deal, and got most of what they wanted. But even here, you are not free. You answer to the Amir. His word ends debates. His ruling closes questions. And you have not seen him in years. You're not sure anyone has. Rank 7. The Amir al-Mu'mineen. You are the Amir al-Mu'mineen, commander of the faithful. In classical Islamic political theology, this title belongs to the rightful leader of the entire Muslim community. That is the title you hold. Your name is Haibatullah Akhundzada. Almost no one has seen your face in years. You do not travel internationally. You do not give press conferences. You do not appear in ceremonies. You issue decrees. They are distributed. They are obeyed. Here is the paradox of the highest rank. You have absolute authority, and you are absolutely alone. Every rank below you answers upward. They all answer to something. You answer to nothing, which means you cannot make a mistake openly. You cannot reverse yourself. You cannot be seen to be uncertain, because you are not a man making decisions anymore. You are a doctrine, and doctrines do not doubt themselves. Girls in Afghanistan cannot go to school because of a decree came from this room. Women cannot leave their homes without a male escort because of a decree from this room. A generation of Afghan children is growing up without education because of a decree from this room. A man in a white room that no one can find, issuing papers that become the walls of other people's lives.